Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio.
KTLK AM 1150. It is always a treat to be back together with you on Nelson Radio and our special guest host, Phil Immel, the guru, Prudential California Realty, Monarch Beach. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing great, Rob.
I mean,
Thanks.
it's the biggest announcement there. I make it sound like you just entered the stadium.
It is. I was never that good at sports, but the way you announce it, perfect.
Hey, we're theming the show on the luxury real estate market, and bringing your best is the theme of our show. We're going to take a look at that from a variety of different angles. The show's going to be really interesting because we're doing a remote broadcast from one of Phil's latest listings, and this is a luxury property down in Monarch Beach, a beautiful bluff-top home that overlooks Monarch Bay. It's stunning. I mean, Phil, I was in the backyard. I went up onto my tiptoes. I could see Japan.
Well, you have good eyes, buddy.
And so, beautiful property. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to also be with Susan Belknap, the editor of OC Metro. And then as we go into Coach's Corner, back with Dave Austin in Extreme Focus and getting his perspective on bringing your best. And then, of course, as we always do, finishing the show with a stump. Stump the experts. Fielding your listener questions. And I don't know if we're going to get stumped. We're on a streak. It hasn't happened yet. And then, of course, Treasures of Africa. We do want to slow down and showcase our sponsor orphanage down in Moshi, Tanzania, and a special little boy that I want to bring your attention to. Let me tell you about Street Noise in our first segment here, brought to you by our legal partner, OC Wills and Trust Attorneys. Being prepared for your family. That's the whole idea about having your estate in check. Give us a call during the show, 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136. Phil, before we go into taking a look at this beautiful estate, I was looking at some of the luxury properties around the country, and this is a high price tag. In my world, an $8.5 million listing. It's probably worth more than that with this kind of view right on the bluff top looking over the Pacific. But the highest listing that I saw in the U.S., what do you think that's at?
Where?
Well, it's out of Connecticut.
Oh.
Tops the Realtor.com list, $190 million.
Wow.
50 acres, 13,000 square feet, Victorian mansion built in the 1890s.
Wow.
And this is probably what you need for your new family. 12 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, 10 fireplaces. Are there these kind of properties? I mean, that sounds so extraordinary, but are they all over the country, or is this just the...
that's pretty rarefied air, but, Tori Spelling's parents' property, Aaron Spelling, the old producer of many great shows, he had a beautiful estate, and I think it was probably $150 million list price originally by the LA Country Club, and I think it finally sold for about $110 to some heiress somewhere.
Yeah. And there's a property like his that's actually on the market. And tell me if you've ever heard of this. I just saw this number. I had to bring it up. For lease, for a small monthly fee, this is up in Bel Air, $600,000 a month.
I'd have to earn your residuals to get that.
Yeah, unbelievable. So let's talk a little bit about the luxury market and just what we see right here in our backyard. I mean, obviously, those are the extremes. But along the coastal community here, Ritz Cove, Monarch Bay, what kind of properties are in this luxury environment that we're talking about?
Well, the area I think we should talk about today is really Newport Beach down through San Clemente, what we call the premier coastal Orange County market. In fact, if you would like to just, donate $150 to a raffle ticket for the Ocean Institute, you can win $1 million home in Laguna Beach. It's a wonderful thing, and they're right across the driveway here from us. So, moving on from that, what I would tell you is the luxury market about 9 months ago started picking up rapidly. And at the end of the year, there were a lot of people because they were concerned about the new tax rates for the super wealthy people. And so some sellers made their move really quickly, even discounted the sale because it would have made a difference of $500,000 or $1 million
From a tax
standpoint, just from federal tax things. So it lit up a lot of high-end net worth buyers to go buy these luxury properties up and down throughout California in particular, and federally and nationally across the country. So what's happening now is that market's still very sustainable. We're in a little niche here where it's more of a summer beach house market. Many of these are second and third homes for people.
Right.
And obviously it's spectacular with a private beach club managed by the St. Regis. The environment of the location we're at right now is unbelievable. So seasonality, we're right in prime time. Everybody'd like to get in here and have their summer home they've always dreamed of. And the correlation between the stock market now over 15,000 is got a lot of people feeling the wealth factor again that has been gone for years.
Well, and it's essentially free money that showed up over the last 180 days.
Yeah.
With, 300-point gain?
Right.
Or 3,000-point gain, I should say.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So in the luxury space, I mean, obviously, we're moving into high season, and people want that experience of being down along the coast. Do you see some of the sellers that did pull the trigger quickly regretting that?
No, most of these people are very, very wealthy, and they can truly afford it. They tend to be all cash buyers, and they don't get rich overnight. Typically, it's a long-term wealth situation, but they were just afraid the market hadn't bottomed out. And where do you buy to change your lifestyle? And so finally, last year, as the guru had noted, that was the bottom of the market, and now everything else has started to appreciate at all price points, from 0 to 190 million, I guess.
Yeah.
So right now, it's very fluid, and with their stock options and things like that, that tends to be who these people are. Their companies grow, they sell their company, and everything releases. So we're in a much better place than we were even a year ago.
So let me ask you one more question, get a read on this from the street noise standpoint, and that is, maybe the super wealthy, they're not looking back at a sale and going, oh, that was premature, I could have got another 100,000 or 200,000. What about middle America? Do those that have sold at the end of 2012, first quarter 2013, are they looking back going, I should have held on?
Actually not, unless, if they sold and then decided to rent and look around, that might have had some impact. But the majority of those people, what's really kicked in now that we haven't seen in 6 or 7 years, Rob, is the trade-up market's kicked in. So those that sold, either the big home coming down to the little home or the new family building with more children than they can handle, has really triggered the point where they've sold and they've gone out and bought something else. So they're getting an appreciation in a higher value. So 10% of a higher number is better than maybe a $500,000 home they sold. So they're good.
Great read, Guru. All right. Well, we're going to dive into our show. This is going to be talking about bringing your best. A Street Noise segment brought to you by our legal partner, O.C. Wills and Trust Attorneys, protecting your family in advance of a change in your life. Call us direct, 888-888-2136. We're down at 37 Monarch Beach on the bluff, overlooking the Pacific. It's a stunning property. 888-888-2136. I'm with my special guest host, Phil Immel, the Guru. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades, direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136, or at strongcreditrewards.com.